So the metaphor was the lullaby was a metaphor that related um, the hypnotic cue to think that they were putting my dog down with cancer patients dying. And I need to get that done quickly. The lullaby was another metaphor. Relating it also actually referenced a song that was, referencing the seal. That's why they told me that I was wrapped up in a neat little bow, kind of like, because, a bow is kind of works like a seal, right? Sometimes when you wrap something up in a bow. Shonda?
Yeah,
Did you hear me?
yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
No, I'm deaf. Yes, I heard you.
So, I mean, you can see, like, this is elaborate.
Right.
Yeah. Um, because, like, so, there is in the song, right? Uh, like, that's the name of the song, and then the album cover, referencing cradles, really references a lot of the entire situation and describes the seal, right?
Mhm.
Provides context for the seal, and then and in the song, the lyrics say "hush" repeatedly.
Right.
Just like the nursery rhyme.
Mhm.
Um, and so this, like referenced, children dying and described the seal actually entirely, what it was.
Mhm.
And it further relates the that was it. Because like you put a baby to sleep in a cradle, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so that's a reference to the song, and then a reference to you know, the type of sleep that you would be putting a baby to in the context.
Right.
Um, and describing that's a little difficult too. I might need a scratch piece of paper just to write it. So, the lullaby was another metaphor. referencing putting a child to sleep like you would in a cradle, except in this context, providing the context that except referencing except because you know, like, so this is where it's a metaphor, right? Because sleep, right, is the metaphor for death, right? Just like when you put a dog to sleep, that's a metaphor. You know, because they're not literally like sleeping, like REM sleep and dreaming. You know what I mean? They're dead.
Wow.
What?
I'm here.
Yeah. So, like referring to. I can't talk. I can't talk. I can't. The lullaby was another metaphor referencing putting a child to sleep, like you would in a cradle, like you would put a child to sleep in a cradle. In a cradle, except you still there?
Yep.
Okay. Like it feels so hard for me to say this because of the hypnosis.
Right.
Except in the like in the context that except in this context, except in this I can't think before I write it. That's what's difficult about it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because I'm not supposed like because the hypnosis would make me start writing. Um, so that I wouldn't complete a sentence and then you know basically interrupt the pattern of thought, um, make me write the wrong words, whatever, right? A lot of things that I've described before. And this would be to consume time too. Would put a child to sleep in a cradle, except this is why I have to write like on a separate piece of paper as well. So you know, like I'm not tolerating it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to just get this done. I just want to 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 get this done. Referencing putting a child to sleep like you would put a child to sleep in a cradle, except in this context, referencing in except like except this is where like I can't think because because the hypnosis. Except in this context. Except in this context. I'm not sure if that's the words that I want to use because I like that's what I mean is like because you know that's three words, right, in this context. That's the pattern
Right.
that they're doing to me. So like, and then I have to write it down before I can think of the rest of the sentence.
Right.
Yeah, so I can't think if that's the right words that I even want to use. And that's how they would inhibit my articulation. But like, let's see, this is 37, 30, 37. I'm going to put this in the description of the video because this is evidence, you know what I mean? It's 06, 07, 22. And that's 37 minutes approximately. 36, maybe 35. Because this will be nice for court, specifically, you know what I mean? Shonda? Did you hang up? No? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah.
Okay. So this is evidence and example. Hypnosis inhibiting articulation and handwriting. Articulation and writing. By inhibiting articulation of
Okay, we need some water.
oh, no worries. Articulation of complete sentences. By inhibiting cognition, inhibiting/repressing cognitive abilities after articulating 2 or 3 words. Until after writing the words so that I would not be able to articulate sentences at all at once. Articulate a complete sentence at one time. There we go. You still there?
Yep.
Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I described?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So I want to make sure to put this in the description for the video when I upload it on YouTube as evidence, so then that I can use that as a specific reference for court. Because that's what I've been trying to describe for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I mean, that's such a like complex subject. I mean, you know, complex thing to try to describe.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, um, I wonder what the specific wording is that they used to tell me when they told me to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Because it's probably very close to what I just said, because that's what the pattern was. Um,
So what were you doing? Were you writing or?
yeah, I was trying to write, and I kept
Oh.
saying in the context, right?
Mhm.
Like, except in this context. But when I was trying to when I was trying to complete the sentence in my mind and
Mhm.
articulate the sentence in my mind before writing the entire thing down to make sure that's what I wanted to say.
Right.
But the hypnosis wouldn't allow me to inhibit and repress my cognition after articulating the next three words in the sentence, so that I would never be able to articulate a complete sentence while writing.
Right.
I mean, or generally, and that like really inhibited me a lot because, without being able to articulate the complete sentence, I wouldn't know. Like oftentimes I would make mistakes or use words that I didn't want to use, right? So then I would have to
Mhm.
rewrite it, and then I had to, I would only be able to think like three words at a time instead of, being able to think a sentence at a time.
Mhm.
Um, so then and I could write after writing those like few words, like say for example 3 to 5 words. After writing it,
Right.
then I'd be able to articulate the next 3 to 5 words. And then after I wrote those 3 to 5 words that I articulated, then I'd be able to articulate the next 3 to 5 words, but never being able to articulate a complete sentence at one time.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Like I can't stand it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So um, ow. And then the back pain would put a child to sleep in a
You
cradle, except.
are you okay?
Oh no, I'm not okay. You know what the hypnosis is doing to me?
Huh.
It's abusing me. It's inhibiting me. Like it's not okay.
I know it's doing that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not okay at all.
No,
Um,
it's not.
yeah. Well, I'm not okay either because of that. That's what I mean.
Mhm.
So, um, putting a child to sleep like you would put a child to sleep in a cradle, except in this context, um, it was a. Except in this context, the lullaby was a metaphor.
Ew. Sorry.
Was a metaphor referencing death, as if putting a dog down, putting a dog to sleep. That's the. There we go. Okay, so
Yes.
um, I think I want to add in here was a metaphor. The hypnosis has repressed my memory of it now. Oh, that's right, because There we go. Um, sleep reference death.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That came out of nowhere.
So, um, except in this context, the lullaby was a metaphor for sleep to reference death. How do I phrase that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this, so the lullaby was a metaphor, where sleep referenced death. How do I say that correctly? Do you know?
Uh-uh.
You have no idea how to say that?
I don't.
Okay. I had a word in my head just barely, um, or a way to describe it at least, kind of in my head, just incomplete. Um,
I hate that.
yeah. Well, I mean, the hypnosis is the reason for that though too,
Yeah.
because it doesn't take that long to write sentences. You know what I mean, or write at all.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is ridiculous. Like taking several hours just to write a paragraph or a few sentences. It's illogical. Um, the lullaby was a metaphor in which sleep symbolized death. That's what the word was symbolized too. Because defining the word metaphor.
Mhm.
So, instead of, I could also probably shorten the entire sentence too, right? The lullaby was a metaphor, um, in which sleep referenced death, or it was a metaphor referencing putting a child to sleep, um, in a cradle. Except in this context, the lullaby was a metaphor referencing, um, was a metaphor in which sleep symbolized death, as if putting a dog down, as if putting a dog to sleep. Um, so the sentence in itself would be the lullaby was a metaphor referencing putting a child to sleep like you would put a child to sleep in a cradle. It's kind of a run-on sentence too. Because like you know what I mean? Like it's so complicated with the situation. There's so much detail. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the that's the problem is like it's so detailed that it's hard to like really accurately describe it.
Right.